Well, I think this is one of the key events in Korea, and it's become even more important by combining really the pharmaceutical angle with the general foods angle and the dietary supplements angle. That's the key market that we play into. We also see a convergence between those spaces, and given that importance of the fair, as well as the rebranding of the company and the new solutions that we're offering, we told it of utmost importance to be here.
So there's a lot of different aspects into this question, obviously. The first thing I'd say is DSM-firmenich is 2 to 3 year old company. So it's a toddler. So you have to bear with us. It takes a bit of time to create something new. Then on a more anecdotal way, I would say one of the issues why DSM is very well known and DSM-firmenich not so well known is that in Korean, DSM is very easy to say, but Firmenich, with actually that special CH at the end, is quite difficult. So we have to reword and verbalize the word Firmenich in Korean, and it's Firmenich의. And it has this M as well, with this O and the double lines in Korean that don't have the little line in the middle. So that's the anecdote, is we also have to help the consumer and the customers even say the brand of the company. But more specifically, then the way we work with our customers is, for us, it's very important that we look at 2 or 3 ingredients brands that are very important for us. So for example, on a lot of the Korean packaging, you will find the brand name Life's Omega for our omega-3 brand by DSM-firmenich. So Life's Omega is already a little bit more known, and we combine it with DSM-firmenich. We do the same, for example, in our health from the gut or gut health with the Yumium brand. So that's the way we work with customers on the packaging. And finally, you asked me a question also about, do we have the intention to do more than in the B2B and the B2C space? So yes, of course, we have this intention, and we've been doing this for 2 or 3 years. At CPHI, we will do it again, but at also Vita Foods and Supplied Side West.
Yeah. So we prefer to really co-create with our partners, because when you start in research, we always start early on with preclinical assays where we screen for the efficacy of ingredients and ingredient combinations. And then we need to test this in human clinical studies. And then we need to bring it into a final application in a way that these ingredients and technologies are stable and bioavailable. So there's really quite a journey of data that need to be generated. And we like to work with our customers both in Korea and at the global level from the very beginning. And the reason for this is that our customers understand really well what are the concerns of healthcare professionals and of consumers. And then we can generate the right research that solves the solutions and the problems that we need to create for them. So what we will do is really create customized science together with our customers jointly by leveraging our R&D capabilities, the assays we have, and even co-financing clinical studies, for example. So the investment to generate new technologies that address the health concerns that the society today has, which are things that are very much linked, for example, to healthy longevity, maintaining a healthy microbiome with the current diets that we are having and the current lifestyle, they really require a lot of investment. Because to bring truly new technologies and ingredients to the market is a long journey, as I just described. And so you really need a partner that is willing to make that investment in that science to generate new efficient solutions. And I think that is the impact that we are bringing, that we are really committed to make that scientific investment, both on ourselves as well as together with our customers. And with science, the insights are evolving more fast and more rapid than ever before. So if you think about the aging process, in the last 3 to 5 years, we have developed completely new tools that allow us to measure the progression of this process much earlier than ever before, which also means that we can intervene earlier. So as these new tools develop, also your solutions, ingredients, and technologies, they need to adapt, and the needs move and they change. So you need this constant evolution of bringing solutions based on new scientific insights, and that really requires a significant investment of both the customers as well as of us as a partner. And that's how we have an impact, I think.
So global trends that we see in the whole health industry is a move away from specific immunity focus, which has been the focus of this industry for a while. Also the single vitamin focus, which had been a focus for a while. And of course, as we all know, the move away from very simple hard cap or simple tablets and to enjoyable formats, which has now been consumed, and really the diversification of format is enormous. In these trends as well, what is emerging is things such as women's health, beauty from within, the trends related to GLP-1 and weight loss, things like this. And I think these, to some extent, resonate very well with the very sophisticated Korean consumers. So specifically, the beauty trend, the K-beauty that everybody is aware of, is now more and more being picked up also in health and in supplements. So that's definitely one aspect to take into account. For example, if you talk about healthy longevity, which I would think is the overarching frame in the next 5 to 10 years in supplements, under which a lot of sub-trends are going to be featured, you will see that in Korea particularly, the angle of beauty and from younger consumer to think slow aging rather than longevity is something that is picking up. So what is, in my view, to remember in the Korean health supplements industry is a high marketing focus, very much experiential demands from the consumer, and this combined with science, transparency of where the ingredients come from, and cost. Korean consumers, maybe this is something that's not so often said, are also cost conscious and very savvy buyers. So if you look at Korean beauty, what you find in Korea is brands like Granghang, non-fictional tambourines. And these are brands that put a lot of value on the overall consumer experience, from the shop to the packaging to the bottle. It's really a wrap around the final product, which can happen to be a perfume or a shower gel, but it's really everything. And what we as DSM-firmenich are doing is we are inspired from this overall consumer experience, and we are providing our customers with highly elaborate innovation workshops where we go from Korean-specific insights to consumer personas for these health areas to an overall solution. And we put really a lot of emphasis on the format. So for example, liquid-filled gummies, layered with flavors, hard caps for omega-3, plant-based ingredients such as microalgal Life's Omega. So not just a hero ingredient, but supporting ingredients, and this all wrapped into a format, a new format, and flavors that are geared towards the market in Korea. So whereas in America or in Europe, someone might like strawberry, maybe here in Korea, I have to look at a Kyosho type of grape flavor, or a certain melon for the summer that will be more cooling, lighter fruit flavors, much more subtle. So this is something that we as DSM-firmenich are really able uniquely to do, to combine the science, the ingredients, the formulation, the formats, and the flavor all together into what the consumers in Korea aspires to get as an ingredient experience in a solution.
So there are 3 big areas where we really are focusing our R&D capabilities on. The first one is what we call health from the gut, so it's health driven by the gut microbiome. The second one is healthy longevity, so how can we really help in a favorable biological aging process so that you can be healthy also in the later years of your life. And the third one is what we call beyond sensory, which is what you touched upon, that it's very important for a solution. It can be very effective, but in the end of the day, people need to take it and they need to be compliant. So the sensorial experience is also really critical. So what we are doing in these three areas where we are investing R&D, specifically in Korea, is we have, for example, an APAC nutrition grant program, where we provide specific grants to researchers in the region. We started that program 2 years ago, and our first focus area was health from the gut, so the microbiome-driven health. And we have provided grants to 5 researchers in APAC region, including to Korea researchers, to really generate evidence on new science and technologies here in the population. And the beauty of the program is that it goes all the way from these preclinical evidences to actual human studies in the APAC demographic population. So we really work there with local academics and key opinion leaders who are very specialized in a certain area and who also want to build further understanding on the mode of action and the efficacy of solutions. And we have just launched, as we speak, the second round of this grant program, and that one is focused on healthy longevity. So there we're really looking at, okay, how can we advance the biological aging process in a favorable way? And when it goes to the third pillar, what we call this beyond sensory, there you move more from the academic side into working with our customers. So it's very important that when our customers develop the finished product or we develop the finished solution for them, that it is well accepted. And there are specific requirements of consumers in the Korea market when it comes to the flavor profile, the type of formats that they like. Do they prefer jellies? What is the texture of these jellies that they actually prefer and like? And so there, how we work with them is that we really co-develop to get a solution that we know the consumer will enjoy. They will feel that it's effective for them, that it's doing something for them, and in this way they will actually comply and therefore get the health benefit at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think the key trend that's going to determine the next 10 years is going to be preventative health, healthy aging, healthy longevity, slow aging, as you often call it here in Korea. And I think we're very well placed to respond to that trend. How do we do that? We do that by having the best ingredients and often combinations of ingredients with well-proven health benefit. But ingredients is not enough. Ingredients also need to fit the very innovative formats that consumers are looking for these days, as well as the consumer experience that consumers are looking for in terms of taste. So as my colleagues have said, it's all about ingredients, blends of ingredients with proven health benefits, but also the formats and the taste. And so with the combination of DSM and Firmenich's, we're now very well placed to exactly provide those three elements. And that's what we're going to be focused on, to basically deliver the right solutions to play into that preventative health trend. Yes, maybe one thing I still forgot to say when you asked me about the strategy is that we are also evolving the company from not just being science forward, but also be very consumer back and customer back thinking, right? So we want to much more than in the past co-create our solutions together with our customers, as Annalene has explained it. And our Korean customers and the Korean market play a key role in that. This is a very sophisticated market with a relatively high, or if not a very high, penetration in dietary supplements and healthy foods, right? Especially, I would say, when it comes to the very high quality of the ingredients, the health benefits that go with it, but also the formats and the taste. So working and being able to work here with customers is a great honor, and I think together we can even further this market, and of course learn from it and also use that globally. Now, what Annalene also said is that when, like us, you want to innovate in ingredients, and come up with new forms of ingredients. You need to have the global scale as we have it to develop those ingredients, do all the clinical trials, and then bring that science and innovation also to Korea.
I think for the Korean consumers is you can trust DSMPharmenichi. We have 2 times 100-year history. We have many Nobel Prize winners in our science. We are producing a lot of our ingredients in very highly regulated, very high quality. But on top of all of that, we understand the consumer because we all travel to Korea. We go to Olivion, we go to the Hyundai Seoul Mall, and we buy the products. I buy the face mask, I buy the ingredients and the solutions at the airports. So we really put all of this together and merge the Korean influence that we appreciate so much, the Korean culture that we appreciate so much, with our amazing solutions, ingredients, flavors, and formats.